Good evening, students. Today we will start the first chapter of your physics, that is physical quantities and measurement. This is the first chapter of physics, and this is the first lesson of this chapter. So this chapter is actually comprises of different physical quantities, how we measure those quantities, what are the different techniques of measuring these quantities, and their various units, smaller units and bigger units, and all these things we will cover in this lesson. And all total 2 lectures will be provided, and this chapter will complete, and this is the first lecture. So before going into details, we'll know what is actually physical quantity and what is actually measurement. What is measurement? So the first term from this chapter is your measurement. What is measurement actually? Measurement means to measure something. Measurement means to measure something, and the measurement could be anything. It could be length, it could be mass, it could be area, it could be temperature, anything. Clear? So it is just actually a process. It is actually just a process by which we can measure anything. Clear? So this is a measurement. And if we go into the definition of measurement, we will say that it is a process. Measurement, it is a process of the finding the exact value of an unknown quantity by comparing it with a known fixed quantity. Listen carefully. It is a process, that is measurement is a process of finding the exact value of an unknown quantity by comparing it with a known fixed quantity. So in measurement there are two quantities. One is your unknown quantity and another one is your known quantity. Clear? And we have to compare between these two quantities to find the exact value of the measurement. Clear? Suppose you have a thread. This is a thread AB. This is a thread, and you don't know the measurement of this thread. So what will you do to measure the thread? You will take a scale or you will take a ruler. Suppose this is the ruler. The ruler looks like this. This is the ruler, and these are the measurement. That is 1, 2, 3 like this. Clear? So these are the measurement. It is written as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. So what will you do? You will just, this is the point 0. So you will do the just place the ruler over here and you will check the measurement. Clear? So this is your unknown quantity, because you don't know the value or you don't know the measurement of the thread. So this is your unknown quantity, and this is your known quantity because you know the measurement of the scale. Clear? So you will compare this known quantity with this unknown quantity to find the measurement of this thread. Clear? So there are two quantities. One is your unknown quantity, one is your known quantity. And measurement, it is a process by comparing a unknown quantity with a known fixed quantity. So here the thread is your unknown quantity. You don't know the measurement of the thread. So what will you do? You will take a ruler and just place this ruler over the thread and deduce the measurement or length of this wire. Clear? The measurement of this length could be anything. It could be 6 centimeter, it could be 5 centimeter, it could be 4.3 centimeter, anything. So you will find the value of this measurement, or you can find the length of this thread by comparing it with this ruler. That is, this is your known quantity. So you have just compared these two to find the measurement of this thread. So it is just a process. So the definition of measurement will be, the measurement is a process of finding the exact value of an unknown quantity by comparing it with a known fixed quantity. Clear? So I'll just write the definition and you will write this in copy. So measurement, what is measurement? Measurement can be defined as the process of finding the exact value Measurement can be defined as the process of finding the exact value of an unknown quantity by comparing it with a known fixed quantity. So this is the definition of measurement. It is a process of finding the exact value of an unknown quantity by comparing it with a known fixed quantity. Clear? Now this is the measurement. Clear? So what is physical quantity? The chapter says physical quantities and measurement, and we have learned the measurement, the process, how to find measure of anything, how to measure any object. Now there is another term, that is physical quantities. Now what is physical quantity? Physical quantities are the quantities that can be measured. Physical quantities are the quantities that can be measured. Clear? So physical quantity is, what is physical quantity? It is a quantity that can be measured. A quantity that can be measured is your physical quantity. So it is a quantity that can be measured. Physical quantity is a quantity that can be measured. That means length, volume, time, temperature, all these are physical quantities, because all these we can measure. You can measure length, you can measure area, you can measure volume, you can measure perimeter, you can measure time. So all these are your physical quantities. Clear? So what is the example of physical quantity? Physical quantities can be length, physical quantities can be area, physical quantities can be volume, physical quantities can be mass, and etc. etc. Clear? So there are many physical quantities. These are the some examples of our physical quantities. Now physical quantity are of two types. Physical quantities are of two types. One is your fundamental quantity, and the second one is your derived quantity. So I'll just write this in your copy, or you can take a screenshot. I am going to erase this. So physical quantity are of two types. Physical quantities are of two types. One is your fundamental quantity. And the another one is your derived quantity. One is your fundamental quantity, and the another one is your derived quantity. These are two physical quantities. Clear? Now coming to fundamental quantity. What is fundamental quantity? So just make a heading, that is fundamental quantity. Now what is fundamental quantity? Now fundamental quantities are those physical quantities that are unique and they do not depend on any other quantity. Listen carefully. Fundamental quantities are those physical quantities that are unique and they do not depend on any other quantity. That means they are independent. Clear? So these quantities are unique. They are unique. This is U. They are unique and they do not depend. They are unique and they do not depend on any other quantity. On any other quantity. So these are our fundamental quantities. Fundamental quantities are unique and they do not depend on any other quantity. What is the example of fundamental quantity? Fundamental quantity example. Fundamental quantities are example, that means length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity and amount of substance. There are all total 7 fundamental quantities. There are all total 7 fundamental quantities. Total 7 fundamental quantities. Total 7 fundamental quantities are there. Clear? Number 1 fundamental quantity is length. Number 2 fundamental quantity is your mass. Number 3 fundamental quantity is your time. Number 4 fundamental quantity is your temperature. Number 5 fundamental quantity is electric current. Number 6 fundamental quantity is luminous intensity. This is M. Clear? Luminous intensity. And the last one, there is 7th fundamental quantity is your amount of substances. So all total 7 fundamental quantities are there. These are your fundamental quantities. These are very unique and they do not depend on any other quantity. That means they are independent. These are our fundamental quantities. Clear? Coming to derived quantity. Next category is our derived quantity. What are derived quantities? So make a heading, that is derived quantity. Now what is derived quantity? Now derived quantities are those quantities that derive from fundamental quantities. Listen carefully. Derived quantities are those quantities that derived from fundamental quantities. That means derived quantity originates from fundamental quantities, or more specifically, derived quantities are those quantities that depend on fundamental quantities. Clear? So I am repeating again, derived quantities are those quantities that are derived from fundamental quantities. These derived quantities derived from fundamental quantities. That means these derived quantities depend on fundamental quantities, or we can say these quantities originate from fundamental quantities. Clear? So these are our derived quantities. So we can say derived quantities derived from fundamental quantities. Derived quantities derived from fundamental quantities. That means they originate from fundamental quantities, and derived quantities depend on fundamental quantities. Clear? The examples are like volume, or you can say like area. Clear? Or you can say speed, or you can say force. All these are derived quantities, because all these quantities depend on fundamental quantities, because we know if the formula of volume is, the volume formula is length into breadth into height. Clear? The formula of volume is length into breadth into height. That means these three are your fundamental quantities. Just recall the fundamental quantities I have told you just a few minutes back. What are fundamental quantities? Those quantities were unique and they do not depend on any other quantities. What are the examples? All total 7 fundamental quantities were there, and one of them was length. Just recall the fundamental quantities. Clear? And I have given the examples. All total 7 fundamental quantities. One of them were length. Clear? One of the fundamental quantities were length. So here volume means length into breadth into height. That means all these three are your fundamental quantities. That means to find volume of any object, or to find volume of any liquid, we should know its length, breadth and height. That means volume depends on the length, breadth and height. That means to find volume, we need to know its length, its breadth and its height. That means the volume is directly depend on fundamental quantities, because length, breadth, height, all these three are fundamental quantities. That means volume is a derived quantity. Coming to area means length into breadth. Again, these two are your fundamental quantities. So to find area, we have to know the length and breadth. That means area is also depends on fundamental quantities. That means this is area is a derived quantity. Speed is also your fundamental quantity, because we know the formula is speed equals to distance divided by time. This is the formula of speed. Speed equals to distance divided by time. So this is the formula of speed. Now distance, it is the actually measurement. Distance means it is actually the length. Distance means suppose A and B. This is the two city. A is one city, B is a city, and the distance between them is actually length. If we think carefully, suppose this is a city, this is city A and this is city B, and the distance between these two cities is actually the length. Clear? Now length is your fundamental quantity. So this is the fundamental quantity, distance is a fundamental quantity, and the time is also fundamental quantity, because just recall the fundamental quantities. I have given total 7 fundamental quantities, and there time is a fundamental quantity given. I have told you total 7 fundamental quantities, and one of them were time. So time is your fundamental quantity. Now this distance is a fundamental quantity, time is a fundamental quantity. So speed will also be a derived quantity, because to know the value of speed or to deduce the speed, we need to know the distance and time. That means speed is directly dependent on distance and time. That means speed is directly dependent on fundamental quantities. That means speed is a derived quantity. So all these 4 are our derived quantities. That means they are depending on fundamental quantities. Clear? So this is all about our fundamental quantity and derived quantity. These two are our physical quantities. Clear? And what are physical quantities? Physical quantities are the quantities that can be measured. Clear? Next. Next one. Now measurement of physical quantities. How can we measure physical quantities? What are the process? Measurement of physical quantities. Measurement of physical quantities. Measurement of physical quantities. Now whenever we measure an unknown physical quantity, we do so by comparing it with some known quantity, because in the definition of measurement it clearly says that it is a process of finding the exact value of an unknown quantity by comparing it with a known fixed quantity. So this is actually the process that is known as measurement. So whenever we measure an unknown physical quantity, we do so by comparing it with some known quantity. Clear? This known quantity is called the unit of measurement. This known quantity is called the unit of measurement. Now recall the measurement. In measurement, recall the process measurement. There are two quantities. One is your known quantity and another one is your unknown quantity. So you need to compare these two quantities. To find this unknown quantity. Clear? And the quantity that is the known quantity, this quantity is known as unit of measurement. Now in measurement there must be a unit. Either it can be centimeter, either it can be meter, it can be kg, it can be gram, it can be liter, it can be kiloliter. All these are your unit. Clear? So this known quantity is actually the unit of measurement. In order to measure any physical quantity, we should know the following things. We should know the following things. One is the unit of measurement. This thing we should know to measure any physical quantity. And the second one is the magnitude of measurement. The second one is the magnitude of measurement. That means the value. Magnitude means the value. That is value of measurement. That means what value it represents in the quantity. Clear? So these two things we should know while measuring something or while measurement. Clear? Now suppose let me clear you with an example. Suppose if a bucket weighs 2 kg, then kg is the unit of measurement and 2 represents the unit kilogram. Suppose there is a bucket and the bucket weighs 2 kg. There is a bucket and the bucket weighs 2 kg. Then this kg is your unit of measurement. This kg is your unit of measurement, and this represents the magnitude. This represents the magnitude or the value. This represents the magnitude or the value, because we know to define or to measure any physical quantities, we should know the two things. One is the unit of measurement and the second one is the magnitude of the measurement or the value of the measurement. So the data given is the weight of a bucket is 2 kg, or a bucket weighs 2 kg. Here kg represents the unit of measurement, and the number, it represents the unit, or it represents the magnitude or value. Clear? So there is a formula of representing any measurement. The formula is P equals to N into U. The formula is P equals to N into U. The measurement of any physical quantity is the product of its magnitude and unit. Listen carefully. This is a formula of finding measurement of any physical quantity. Clear? So the formula is P equals to N into U. So the measurement of any physical quantity is the product of its magnitude and unit. This is the unit and this is the magnitude. So it is the product of unit and magnitude. Clear? Now this P represents the physical quantity. Here P is the physical quantity. Clear? N represents the magnitude, or you can say value, and the U represents the unit of measurement, Clear? Now recall the previous example I have given. The bucket weighs 2 kg. So therefore 2, this is the magnitude, and unit of measurement, this is kg. So this is the product of measurement or the measurement value. So measurement is actually, this is 2 kg. Clear? So in this way we will represent the measurement of any physical quantity. In this way we will measure actually the physical quantities, any physical quantity. That can be length, that can be mass, that can be time, any physical quantities. All those quantities that can be measured are your physical quantities. So any physical quantities can be measured using this formula. Clear? Next. Next one is your unit. What is unit? What is the definition of unit, or what is actually unit? Now a unit may be defined as a fixed quantity. What is unit? Unit is a fixed quantity, or unit can be defined as a fixed quantity that is used as a standard for measuring the physical quantity. So in short, what is unit? In short, a unit is a fixed quantity. Unit is a fixed quantity that is used for measuring physical quantity. Unit is a fixed quantity that is used for measuring the physical quantities. Clear? So the definition of unit is, unit can be defined as a fixed quantity, unit can be defined as a fixed quantity that is used as a standard for measuring physical quantities. Clear? So unit can be defined as a fixed quantity that is used as a standard for measuring physical quantities. Now these physical quantities can be anything. It can be length, it can be mass, it can be time, it can be temperature, any physical quantities. Clear? So these are units. Now this unit are actually classified into two types. One is your non-standard unit and another one is your standard unit. One is your non-standard unit, and another is your standard unit. So units are of two types. One is our non-standard unit and another is our standard unit. But we will discuss only standard units because these standard units were actually accepted in worldwide. All those scientists accepted the standard unit. Non-standard units are not accepted anywhere. Only standard units are accepted by all over the world. Clear? So we will only discuss the standard unit. Only the standard unit. Now the standard unit are further classified into three types. The standard unit are further classified into three types. Clear? One is our CGS unit. Second one is our FPS unit. And the third one is our MKS unit. Clear? So the full form of CGS is centimeter gram second. The full form is your centimeter gram second. C stands for centimeter, G for gram, and S for second. So CGS system. Just write system over here. So first one is our CGS system. Clear? Next FPS. FPS means foot pound second. F stands for foot, P stands for pound, and S stands for second. So FPS system or foot pound second system. Third one, MKS. MKS means meter kilogram second system. M for meter, K for kilogram, and S is usually second. So meter kilogram second system. Clear? So these three are our standard unit: CGS, FPS, and MKS. And we will discuss these three units one by one. Now, in your book, you can find SI units. In your book, you can find SI units. Clear? SI unit. This is the most accepted units among these three. Now, this SI units is actually MKS unit. Clear? But this is the upgraded form of MKS. Listen carefully. This SI unit is actually MKS unit, but this SI unit is actually the upgraded form. That means MKS unit is actually updated or upgraded to SI units. These two units are same. SI units and MKS unit, both these two are same, and this SI unit is actually the upgraded form or updated form from MKS unit. So in your book you can find these SI units. This is nothing but this is the upgraded form of MKS. Clear? Next. So we will discuss now the SI units. We will discuss the SI units. So make a heading: SI units. Clear? So all total there are 7 SI units. Clear? All total there are 7 SI units. So we will discuss these SI units of 7 fundamental physical quantities. We will discuss the SI units of 7 fundamental physical quantities, because fundamental quantities, there were 7 all total fundamental quantities. So each of them will have a SI unit. So all total there are 7 SI units representing 7 fundamental quantities. Clear? So number one fundamental quantity was your length. And what is the SI unit of length? SI unit of length is your meter. What is the symbol of meter? This is written as M. Next fundamental quantity was your mass. What is the SI unit of mass? SI unit of mass is kilogram. It is represented as kg. That is, this is the symbol. This is the symbol and this is the unit. Clear? The symbol is written in bracket and the second one is your unit. Third fundamental quantity is time, and the SI unit of time is second. Symbol is S. Fourth fundamental quantity is temperature. SI unit is Kelvin. SI unit is Kelvin. Symbol is K. Clear? Fifth fundamental quantity is electric current. Unit is given as ampere. Unit is ampere, represented by capital A. Sixth fundamental quantity was your luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. SI unit is candela. SI unit is candela. Symbol is CD. Candela. Last fundamental quantity is amount of substance. Amount of substance. Unit is mole. Unit is mole and symbol is MOL. So there are all total 7 fundamental quantities and the SI unit of each fundamental quantity is given in tabular form. Clear? So just note it down. These are our 7 fundamental quantities. Clear? Next. These are our SI units. Next is multiples and submultiples of unit of measurement. What are the multiples and submultiples unit of measurement? Multiples and submultiple units. Multiples and submultiple units. What are multiples and submultiple units? Now, multiple and submultiples, there are many multiples and submultiple units. I'll discuss just 2 or 3 because all those multiple units or submultiple units given in your book, those are not required. I'll discuss the main multiple and submultiple units only. Clear? So the first submultiple units is your peta. It is represented as capital P. Clear? The value of this is your 10 to the power 15. Just remember this value, peta. These are multiple units. Multiple units means to produce larger quantity. Multiple units means to produce larger quantity. So the first one is your peta, represented by capital P, and the value of this is 10 to the power 15. Next one is your tera. This is represented by capital T. The value is 10 to the power 12. Next one is your giga, represented by capital G. The value of this giga is 10 to the power 9. Next one is your mega, represented by capital M. Value is 10 to the power 6. Next one is kilo, represented by small k. This is not capital. All these 4 are capitals, but whenever k will read, this is small, this is not capital. Clear? Kilo is represented by small k. The value is 10 to the power 3. Next one is your hecto. Next one is your hecto. Next one is your hecto, represented by small h. Value is 10 to the power 2. Last one is your deca. Deca. It is represented by dA. The value is 10 to the power 1. This is the smallest value. Clear? So these are our multiples unit. That means to produce larger quantities. Multiple means larger quantities. These are our multiple units, not submultiples. These are multiple units. There are submultiple units are also. Multiple units means to produce larger quantities. These are our multiple units. Clear? Next, submultiple units. Next, submultiple units. Submultiple units means to produce smaller quantities. Submultiple units means to produce smaller quantities. So there are submultiple units also. Submultiples, the first submultiple unit is deci. Deci, represented by small d. The value of deci is 10 to the power minus 1. Minus 1, that means 1 by 10. These are smaller units. Second submultiple units is centi, represented by small c. The value of centi is 10 to the power minus 2. That means 1 by 100. Next submultiple units is milli, represented by small m. Milli, it is double L. Milli. represented by small m, the value is 10 to the power minus 3. That means 1 by 1000. Next submultiple units is micro. This is very important. Micro represented by mu. This is represented by mu, micro. The value of this is 10 to the power minus 6. 10 to the power minus 6. That means 1, there are 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is micro. This is important among submultiple units. Micro. Next one is your nano. Nano. This is represented by small n. This is represented by small n. The value of nano is 10 to the power minus 9. This is also important. Nano. 10 to the power minus 9. The value of this is 1. There are 9 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Nano. So these are our submultiple units. These are our submultiple units. That means to produce smaller quantities. Clear? And the previous one is your multiple units. That means to produce larger units. So these are all about our multiple units. Clear? So that's all for today. In the next session we will start discussing the measurement of length, measurement of time, measurement of mass and all those. Clear? So that's all for it. Thank you.